Welcome to Code Dreamer. This is our fourth part of Java tutorials, and in this tutorial we will be studying about Java data types and variables. If you have not watched our previous videos, it was about Java main static method and Java C command line interface, such that running the Java program using command line interface or CLI. So let's proceed. This is our progress so far, that we are on the basic section and we are about to complete our fourth lecture. So what is actually a data type? As you know that programming is all about working on data. So these data should be categorized in order to efficiently use them. So there are two main types of Java data types, that are primitive and non-primitive. Primitive are defined by the language itself such that they are predefined, and non-primitive are those data types that are built upon the basics primitive data types. So we will clarify this concept when we do this practically. So here is a chart showing different types of data types, such that there are main two types, primitive and non-primitive. Then we have a two further categories of primitive as numeric and non-numeric. Numeric has two types of data types, such that integer data types and a decimal point or floating point. Integer has byte, short, int, long, and floating point has double and float. Non-numeric has character and boolean. While non-primitive, as I already told you, these are built upon the primitive data types. So let's suppose we consider string. So it is an array of characters. So character is a primitive data types, and string is an array of character, and string is using the primitive data type as its base, and building upon this to make a string data type. So this is what non-primitive is all about, and we will see about the arrays as well, and what are the user defined classes, the classes we will make in the object oriented programming in the data structure. These will be the data types that are defined by us. So and here are some of the range of different data types. So let's suppose byte can hold from the minimum value of -128 to a maximum value of 127, and same is the case with others with the different values. And the main is boolean, the unique one. It can hold two values. It can hold a true value or a false value. So let's see. Now you have different data, you have categorized the data, but how will you represent them in a program? You can't just use every time the same data. You have to represent the data as well, that this data belongs to this variable, this data belongs to this variable. So here comes the variable, and there are two concepts associated with variable that are commonly used in the programming, that declaring a variable and initializing a variable. Declaring a variable is just making a variable without assigning a value, and initializing a variable means that we assign the value as well. So here are some of the rules for defining the variables as well. They are case sensitive, such that uppercase letter and lowercase letter variables are not the same, and dollar and underscore is allowed in the variable, but when we only use them, it is not allowed. You have to use one alphabet necessarily, and there shouldn't be no spaces, and there should be no keywords. In the last lecture we have studied about public, static, void, main. These are all keywords, and we can't use them as a variable name. So let's begin with our practical work. So here we are in our NetBeans IDE, and I have created a project lecture 4, and I am in the main class of that project. So let's suppose we want to create a variable of data type byte. So what we should do, we will create byte object with starting data type. We have a space, then we name the variable name, then we write the operator, the assignment operator, and then click some keypads for the number. So and at the end we put the semicolon as well. So this is very much the basic syntax of Java, and where you have defined successfully one of the variable. So let's suppose what if we put the value higher than their range. So I think so their next range was 128. So what if I put 129? So it will give error. So we can't put values pickle in their range. And let's suppose we get that back to the normal, and I will create all the variables. Int, we have created short data type variable, then we have a long, sorry guys, this is alphabet as is not allowed here. I have not assigned a variable. Let's suppose there should be boolean. I told you boolean only contain true or false. Let's suppose if we say flag is equals to true, or we can hold false, and then we have float that contains decimal point values, and it will not compile because we have to put f in the last of let's suppose you see, I forget about the variable name. Let's suppose you put the number, but it will not allow you to compile because you have to put f at the end. And then we have a double d is equals to, let's suppose, 12.1, and then we have a, you can put here without 0.4. It will automatically take it as 23.0, so don't worry about that. And the last one is character C. How can we assign a character? We have to put that on a single quote. Let's put S. If we put 2, it will not get it, so we have to put single. So this is all about the data types, and I will give you a tip about the NetBeans. So if you click Alt Shift F, so it will automatically format your code. So whatever your code is ugly or it looks bad, you can simply click Alt Shift F to get back to the normal format. So that's it for our NetBeans. So our next video will be on Java operator. So stay tuned. Please subscribe my channel, like the video, comment it out, share this video with your friends and family.